If you'd like to show your support for B Radio and help us make more episodes, you can become a paying member of the Babylon Bee at babylonbee.com/plans. And for a limited time, you can use code BRadio for 20% off your annual premium subscription. You'll get full-length, ad-free podcasts, exclusive content, behind-the-scenes videos, and more. Subscribe today at babylonbee.com/plans. Use promo code BRadio.
Factually inaccurate.
Morally correct. This is Babylon Bee Radio. Our top story. After a century of electing nothing but Democrats and getting only corruption, death, and poverty in return, Chicago residents have decided to make a change to the status quo by electing a different Democrat this time.
Well, I don't know. Maybe this Democrat will be different,
said one local business owner while sweeping up the broken glass from his store after getting robbed for the 15th time this year.
We tried Democrats 4 years ago, and also before that, and before that, and before that, and before that, and also before that, and before that, and before that, and before that, and before that, before that, oh, definitely before that, and just before that, going all the way back to the early 1900s. I sure wish there was some other kind of thing we could choose that would help. Oh well.
As violence and despair continue to rise in the city, Chicago remains hopeful that maybe this Democrat politician implementing the same Democrat policies will somehow achieve a better result than all the other times it's been tried. Chicago resident Oprah Winfrey released a statement from her luxury high-rise condo saying that after hearing a rumor that her assistants, drivers, interns, errand boy got shot in the face last week, she hopes something changes soon. Thousands of criminals celebrated another Democrat being elected by firing their guns in the air. Donald Trump's campaign fundraising is breaking records thanks to a lavish fundraiser hosted by Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg and the Democrat Party. Sources say that as Trump arrived at a New York courthouse for the fundraiser this week, his campaign raised millions from energized citizens eager to support the only presidential candidate indicted by a Soros-funded DA.
At this point, if someone hasn't been indicted by a corrupt Soros DA, can you even trust that person?
Said local Trump voter Bubba Gruggs while clicking the donate button on the latest email from the Trump campaign. Experts say that the Trump indictment will firm up his base of supporters who believe the country is run by corrupt, out-of-touch bureaucrats who also happen to be satanic pedophiles, and will alienate him with kooky paint chip-eating conspiracy theorists who think that America's leaders can be trusted. At airtime, it had been revealed that half the donations to the Trump campaign came from Democrat activists who are desperately hoping he runs again. Following his arraignment on charges of 34 felony counts, President Trump boasted that no other felon has ever been charged with this many felony counts in history.
I am, without a doubt, the greatest felon ever charged,
Trump said to a crowd of supporters.
No other human being has received so many counts of so many felony charges. Believe me, it's truly amazing. That's what people are saying. So many felony counts, so huge.
While he and his supporters have argued against the validity and severity of the charges, claiming them to be a political stunt designed to harm his chances in the 2024 presidential election, Trump is now turning the indictment into a positive, resulting in increased leads in primary polls and a boost in fundraising efforts. Experts now suspect that should he be convicted and sent to prison for 136 years, Trump would likely be elected in a landslide the likes of which we've never seen and run the country from his prison cell.
My hoax trial will be the biggest, most glorious hoax trial of all time. Even if I lose, I will win. Big time. So much winning. It's going to be crazy.
After turning himself in to be arraigned in Manhattan, President Trump immediately began writing his first epistle to his local disciples in Florida. The letter, already being dubbed One Floridians, is highly anticipated by its future recipients. The text, which will be separated into chapters and verses, is believed to be the first of many epistles Trump plans to send to Floridians. Scholars who have studied Trump's writings are preparing to pore over the text and break down each word to avoid mistranslation. The Babylon Bee has obtained the letter's introduction, which begins,
Trump, former and future President of the United States, to the faithful who are in Florida, grace and peace to you, Bigley.
Upon its completion, the letter will be entrusted to Trump's faithful courier, Mike Lindell, who will travel to deliver it personally. After its reception in West Palm Beach, the letter will then be copied and passed around to neighboring communities.
Spreading President Trump's good news is what it's all about. Save on bedsheets with promo code ONEFloridians.
At airtime, Trump was putting the finishing touches on the letter.
Greet my beloved brother, Mike Lindell, with a beautiful kiss. Remember my chains? They are the most glorious, amazing chains of all time. MAGA.
Beer scientists at Budweiser headquarters are reportedly hard at work researching how many cans of Bud Light it would take for Dylan Mulvaney to pass as a woman.
That ain't no woman. It's a man.
According to sources, Mulvaney, who recently became a spokesman for the alcoholic beverage, was personally recruited by CEO Philip Budd while he was inebriated. Now human resources need to know how this could have happened.
1.
No. 2. No. Dr. Pedro Morgenstein noted in the test log. 3. No. Dr. Morgenstein reportedly passed out 20 beers later, still believing Dylan Mulvaney was a man. However, he did note that his female colleagues were at least 3 points more attractive. Alcoholic intake studies are nothing new for the Budweiser Corporation, but experiments typically measure the rate of cognitive decline. Determining how many drinks it takes for a man to look like a woman is new territory for the team. Scientists ultimately determined it takes the equivalent of 37 Bud Lights to make Dylan Mulvaney passable as a woman.
Well, she's a guy.
Or just 3 Ballast Point Sculpins. In honor of Trans Visibility Week, Crystal Dynamics has announced its next installment of the beloved Tomb Raider franchise will reportedly replace treasure hunter Lara Croft with Dylan Mulvaney.
Lara Croft is a beloved character, but she has served her purpose. Her voluptuous body that was somehow capable of advanced acrobatics and superhuman combat advanced women's rights by a good 20 years. Now, it's time for her to pass the torch to a real woman, Dylan Mulvaney.
Early previews of the next game show Mulvaney prancing flamboyantly through ancient ruins, saying classic Tomb Raider phrases like,
Ancient Mayan temples, love them!
and though Mulvaney's likeness and voice will be lent to the project, motion picture will be handled by a veteran stuntwoman, as the trans icon reportedly had trouble moving like a real woman.
It was probably some glitch.
Said lead animator Bill Benjamins.
Dylan is a very real and attractive woman who is very womanly and is a woman. Dylan is a woman. Oh, please don't murder me.
Tomb Raider: The Lost Tampon has a planned release date of December 15th. As a part of Major League Baseball's new push to both speed up the pace of games and make them more exciting for spectators, it was announced that pitchers who violate the new pitch clock will then be dropped into a pit of hungry alligators as punishment. Longtime baseball fans like Chris Wilson expressed mixed feelings about such changes being made to the game they love.
I get that a lot of casual fans think the game is slow, but this is ridiculous. I mean, alligators. Really? You could lose a lot of really great players this way. There could be an all-star pitcher who absent-mindedly lets the clock run out and boom, dead. How does this make the game better?
In a related story, new discoveries from archaeological digs and ancient texts have led biblical scholars to a belief that, in addition to all the other catastrophes and maladies that plagued Job in his life, he was also a huge Chicago Cubs fan.
This really adds another excruciating layer to Job's suffering. He not only had to deal with the loss of his children and wealth, physical health, but he also suffered the indignity and unspeakable disappointment of rooting for the Cubs every season.
Scholars say specific verses in particular point to Job's long suffering as a Cubs fan.
Why did I not die at birth, come out of the womb and expire?
Said Job in the 11th verse of chapter 3, following a particularly painful extra innings Cubs loss to the St. Louis Cardinals. Likewise, Job laments an extended Cubs losing streak that eliminated the team from playoff contention in chapter 7 verse 3.
So I am allotted months of emptiness, and nights of misery are apportioned to me.
We also have reason to believe Job's friends were New York Yankees fans. Their taunts only served to further heap shame and sorrow upon Job. Even Job's own wife advised him to curse God and die, because the Cubs would just keep hurting him each year.
Scholars are preparing to dig even deeper into the account of Job's life to determine if his later blessings coincided with abandoning the Cubs. B Radio features officially curated content from the Babylon Bee. Scripted, voiced, and produced by Austin Robertson. Additional voices in this episode from Brandon, James, Jason, and Sam. Don't miss an episode. Subscribe to B Radio on YouTube, Spotify, iHeart, or wherever you get your podcasts.